Congresswoman, let me start with you. President Zelensky of Ukraine says, yeah, you're having a problem. They're having problems with us now, and we're having problems with them. But this is going to be a problem on America's doorstep soon. Is he overstating something?
Well, we can see that, President Putin being involved in lack of leadership creates instability around the world, and he's been very aggressive. And see all of these recent attacks and cyber attacks, they embolden him, and he gets away with that. So it's definitely affecting us.
It is, and he is everywhere now. Think about this. He went back to the Middle East under President Obama in Syria. They have a presence in Libya. They still have a presence in Georgia. And they now have a presence on the outside and using some mercenaries on the inside of the Ukraine. Congressman, how do they afford all this military action? Their GDP is 0.0.
Yeah, and their population is shrinking, is on track to be smaller than Bangladesh in a few decades. Look, Putin is bluffing with a pair of fours at best, but he knows how to play this game. He's emboldened by weakness, and he's deterred by strength. And right now, he smells weakness in the White House. We're seeing a massive and sophisticated Russian nuclear modernization. We're seeing them rearm in the Arctic, where they want to control international shipping as the polar ice cap shrinks. We're seeing them complete the Nord Stream 2 pipeline that isolates Poland and Ukraine. They're incredibly upset about that, and we're seeing them use criminal proxies to launch cyber attacks across the United States at our critical infrastructure. So Biden wants to go in and kind of play the nice guy and hope to tamp all of this down. And what Putin is going to do is take advantage of it, take as much as he can get, and continue his neo-colonialist march to return to the old Soviet Union.
By the way, that plane that just arrived is Russian President Vladimir Putin. He's just on the tarmac. He is, in fact, running about 20 minutes late. I want you to hear what the Ukrainian President Zelensky said last night on CBS about Russia's true intentions. After all, it was just a couple of weeks ago where they had 100,000 troops on their border.
Why should ordinary Americans care what's happening here in Ukraine?
It can be tomorrow at their houses.
You're saying if Russia will do this here,
I don't know.
It might do it tomorrow in the rest of Europe.
Why not? Why not?
The next day attack America.
Why not? I don't know why. Why not?
What do you think about that, Congresswoman Spartz?
Well, I think, if you look about it, why really Russia is really intervening with Ukraine. Because, if you think about this year, it's been 30 years since Soviet Union fell apart, and most the Republic, Russia and Belarus, and fell again into, government control and autocracy. So he wants to make sure that to teach everyone a lesson that you cannot be a free society, you cannot be a democracy. And at least, maybe Russians have a miserable life, at least they don't live, but they don't have a war. So he wants to teach that lesson and show that this promotion of democracy and freedoms that our country have been fighting to have it around the world is really not succeeding. So it's extremely important for him to really slap us. But it's also important for us to do the talk, and not just do the talk, but do the walk. A lot of times we say things, but we don't do that. So I think President Reagan, peace through strength, worked at Soviet Union, and that is the only way how it can make it work. And, Putin being a former Soviet agent, came from that school, he understands that too.
Congressman Waltz, as we watch the Vladimir Putin airplane taxiing closer and closer to and see him actually get off and those stairs roll up. It was not long ago when the G7 was a G8. And we were trying to help Boris Yeltsin transition his economy and get Russia used to a new situation. In comes Vladimir Putin and everything changed. Do we have a Putin problem or do we have a Russia problem?
No, I think we have a Putin problem. I don't think this summit should be happening at all, frankly. Don't give them the world stage. China is the real threat. But again, when presented with weakness, Putin is going to run with it. He invaded, we can't forget that he invaded Ukraine just a month after he had the global stage with the Sochi Olympics. Biden is giving him the global stage again right here. And I think President Zelensky is absolutely right. Next could be Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia, portions of Eastern Europe, until we reestablish deterrence. The next time we're hit with cyber, we should be flicking the lights in the Kremlin. Deterrence is only reestablished when you communicate what you're willing to do and that you have the capability to do it. And I don't see that coming from Biden right now. I see weakness coming from Biden.
And, you know, it's pretty clear when we gave lethal weapons to and tank-busting missiles back over to the Ukrainians to at least fight their own battles. It also became pretty clear, too, when those mercenaries tried to move on our troops over in Syria, and we took out about 100 of them in the blink of an eye under President Trump. That was the message was sent. They didn't try that again, Congressman.
No, that's right. Those missiles came from the Trump administration after the Obama administration gave nothing but blankets and MREs. And I think more Russians have been killed under Trump since Reagan. Right. And you're right. It stopped in Syria and it stopped in the Ukraine. And that's how you reestablish deterrence, is through strength.
Last thing, Congressman Spartz, I know the Ukrainians want to be part of NATO. What are the chances of that happening?
Well, I think Ukraine has some work to do, but they need to work on establishing, you know, free republic and constitutional republic and something that, you know, the society with freedoms and check and balances. I think they have a great chance to be a meaningful member in free society, but they also have some internal work to do. And if they have a leadership that's willing to do it, they can get it done. But you need to work hard. It's very hard. Democracies are messy, and they're not as attractive to a lot of leaders on top. But if it's a true leadership and people want freedoms, the positive things you can see. If the country takes its 80-20 rule, right? If the country with 80% of the vote can replace the sitting president, regardless who it is, then there is some hope for that country.
Absolutely. Congresswoman Spartz, we've talked a lot about the Ukrainians over the last couple of years, and we're going to be talking about them in the future. One day we hope they get their country back in its entirety. And Congressman Waltz, always great to talk to you.
All right.
You got it.